I would like to conclude with a few words about, again, the importance of this study for us and the way forward, and then, of course, thank all of those who were involved in producing the study. As mentioned earlier, for us, for CISAC, this study is really a milestone. It is a milestone because it is the first time that we have a document that maps what the creative and the cultural industries really bring to the global economy. And the conclusions, as you saw, is that, first of all, what the study showed is that the creative industries go far beyond, their impact goes far beyond the creative sector itself. They have an impact on other sectors as well. The study also shows that the creators are not only the foundation of our culture, but they're also a powerhouse when it comes to the economy. What we have presented and the way we are going to use this study is we believe that this is strong evidence, very solid evidence, that the creative industries are a major force in today's economy. But we need to remember, and that was something that was mentioned a couple of times, that as impressive as these figures are, and they are very impressive, the creative industries are fragile. And they are fragile because if you look at the issue from a microeconomic perspective, what we are talking about here are millions of creators around the world who are individuals and who have a very limited leverage when it comes to dealing with those who exploit their works. And I'm talking especially in the digital market about all of these significant players that exploit works but don't fairly remunerate creators. So we need to protect the creators. And in order to do that, there's a number of issues that we need to address. The first one is to make sure that we have around the world legal frameworks that protect creators, protect creativities, values creative works, and provides stability for the creative sector to operate and to continue providing us with this economic benefit, supporting economic growth, and making sure that we have sustainable jobs. Unfortunately, today, and we see that in different cases in different countries around the world, when we see consultations on copyright and on culture, the creative sector and the creators are sometimes taken for granted. And we cannot forget their important and immense contribution and the fact that we need to protect them. Unfortunately, in many of these consultations that we see around the world, the focus is on the users of the creative works, but not on those who create the works. We need to make sure that creators are fairly remunerated for the use of their works, and this question really goes to the heart of the digital economy. We mentioned it earlier. It is simply not possible to continue to have this imbalance that we have today in the digital market if we want to have a sustainable creative sector. We need a system that requires those who are the main players in the digital market, the online services, to deal with illegal use of creative content on their platforms, and also we need a system that obliges them to pay and to pay fairly for their role in exploiting and disseminating creative content. As we mentioned earlier, and Jean-Michel Jarre mentioned in his speech, the transfer of value is the key issue today. We have a transfer of value where the online intermediaries capture the value from the use of creative works but don't share that with those who created the works. And probably most importantly, we need to promote a system and to have a system that incentivizes young creators to continue creating. So we need to nurture the future generations of creators so that they know they can make a living from their creation. These are clearly major tasks, but they are very important tasks. We saw in the figures just how important the creative industries are today. But they are only as strong as their weakest link. And their weakest link is the creators, and we need to protect them. With that, I will conclude. I would like to just finish by acknowledging a few people, a few organizations that have helped us with this study. First of all, UNESCO. Unfortunately, the Director General had to leave us, but I would like to thank UNESCO and her specifically for hosting us today and for being such great supporters of creators and of the creative community. I would like to thank the team of EY and Mark for leading that team, for working so diligently and so hard over the last year on producing this first of its kind report. I would like to thank the Fond Cultural Franco-American, and I would like to thank Globo two organizations that have financially supported this production, the production of this report and this important project. I would like to thank our knowledge contributors, the World Bank, ICMP, and IFRO, organizations that helped us gather all of the information for this report. I would like to thank, of course, the team at CISAC that worked very hard on that. Thank all of our societies around the world that contributed their knowledge and their figures to the production of this study. I would like to thank all of the creators who took part in this study, and when you look at the full study, you will see that there are many testimonials from creators. Creators were very actively involved in the creation of this document. And finally, I would like to thank all of the creators around the world whose talent and whose works enrich our daily lives and contribute to these very important and very successful creative industries. Thank you very much for joining us today.